Welcome back to Blackbird English Grammar. My name is Heather Zickler. Now, a quick review before we get into today's lesson, which is present progressive tense. Verbs, they're action states of being and conditions. Classifications of verbs, well, they're broken down into two major categories, stative verbs and dynamic verbs. And we know that these categories are broken down into two other categories, intensive verbs and extensive verbs. Remember, intensive verbs are going to have subject complements, and we talked about the predicate nominative, which is also known as the predicate noun, and the predicate adjective. We know that extensive verbs that are transitive, they're going to have some sort of object complement. And we know you can have a direct object, an indirect object plus a direct object, and we call them ditransitive verbs when they have an indirect object and a direct object, and monotransitive when it's just the direct object. Remember, dynamic verbs that are extensive and intransitive means there's no complement at all. Noun phrase, NP. In a noun phrase, you might have a determiner phrase and an adjective phrase. We also know that there can be an adjective behind the noun. And we have talked about that this entire noun phrase can be replaced by a pronoun. And we just started talking about when this pronoun is an objective case, is going to replace the noun phrase that's the direct object or indirect object in the sentence. Every sentence needs a verb. Now, based off of this verbs classification, you're going to have certain complements behind it. So with an intransitive verb, you're going to need none of these. To show all of these possibilities, we're going to have other components in parentheses. So this verb phrase is representing all the possibilities that can go behind a verb, like nothing. So if this verb is a transitive verb, you're going to have a direct object. So direct object. If this verb is also a transitive verb, you might have a direct object plus an indirect object. So both components will be part of the verb phrase. You might have a verb that's intensive. So you're going to have maybe a predicate noun or a predicate nominative, same thing, or a predicate adjective. So these are showing you all the choices you might have or could have based off of this verb's classification. Adjective phrase, AP. Well, in an adjective phrase, you're definitely going to have an adjective. But you might have more than one adjective, and we represent that possibility with the star. But we also know an adjective can be modified by an adverb. So far, we only talked about adverbs of frequency. But if you have an adverb of frequency, it's going to go right in front of the adjective it modifies. Remember, we write sentences in a tense. So far, we've talked about simple present tense. But today, we're going to talk about present progressive tense. So let's review simple present tense before we talk about present progressive tense. Now, when your subject is singular and third person, you're going to add s or es to the bare infinitive. Let's go over the spelling rules. Spelling rules for simple present tense. Add s to most verbs. Verbs that end in ss, sh, ch, z, or x, add es. Verbs that end in a consonant plus y, change the y to I and add es. Present progressive tense is going to show a temporary situation or activity in progress. So it's happening. You're going to be doing this activity or this situation is happening right now. So let's get into the spelling rules and how we're going to construct present progressive tense. For us to write in present progressive tense, we're going to have to use an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb is also known as helping verbs. Now, helping verbs are used to create different tense aspects, to form negatives, interrogatives, which are questions, and to add emphasis to a sentence. Now, primary auxiliary verbs are a type of helping verb. And we have three of them in English, to be, to have, and to do. That's really nice that we only have three of them. To be and to have is to create tense aspects. To do is to create questions and negatives. Well, For present progressive tense, we're going to use the auxiliary verb to be. But always keep in mind, to be, to have, and to do can be used as main verbs or a helping verb. I'm going to say it again. There is only 3 primary auxiliary verbs in English: to be, to have, and to do. We have used to be already as a main verb in simple present tense. We are going to keep the spelling, and now we're going to make it an auxiliary verb. To form present progressive tense, use the helping verb to be and present participle of the verb. So to be as a helping verb is going to be right in front of what we call a main verb. Now, we're going to use present participle form of the verb. So let's look at those spelling rules. Present participle used to create continuous tenses. One syllable word or a word with a stressed final syllable ends in a single consonant. Double the last letter before adding ing. When a word ends with a consonant and a letter E, drop the E before adding ing. Do not drop the letter E in B. Phrases: a word or a group of words functioning as one part of speech. Verb phrase: one or more words working together as a verb. There's the simple definition when they're really looking at the main verb and the helping verb, and they consider that as the verb phrase, but we know that's not a complete definition of verb phrase. We need the complements, we need the modifiers as well. Now the noun phrase, the very simple definition of noun phrase is pretty much the noun. But we know that the noun phrase is also going to consist of determiners and adjectives. So always keep that in mind, that some of your textbooks have a very simple and pathetic definition of what a noun phrase and a verb phrase is. The complete definition is going to show you that with inside a phrase, you're going to have different types of phrases and how they work together and build on each other. So always ask yourself, am I not understanding it because the definition is incomplete? And where should I go to look for a better definition or a more complete definition? You have to try to help yourself. Verb phrase, VP. So let's add primary auxiliary verb to our verb phrase, and it's going to go right in front of the verb. He is paying the bill. They are losing the game. You are carrying the balls. We are reading Shrek. She is calling you. These are all written in present progressive tense, so the action is in progress. It's happening as we speak. Adverbs of frequency. Now, we do know that there are definite adverbs of frequency and indefinite adverbs of frequency. So my example is with an indefinite adverb of frequency and is modifying the verb. So the adverb is placed between the auxiliary verb and before the main verb. So let's evaluate a few sentences together. Now, he is paying the large bill. He is a personal pronoun in the subjective case. Is paying the large bill is a verb phrase in the predicate of the sentence. Is a helping verb and a primary auxiliary verb. Now, paying is a verb, a dynamic verb, extensive verb, transitive verb, present participle. Now, is paying is telling you a message. It's happening. It's in progress. Now, the large bill is the direct object. Now, the is a determiner and a definite article. Large is an adjective, descriptive adjective, attributive adjective. And then we have the noun. Concrete noun, countable noun, singular noun, and a common noun. This is a declarative sentence, so we're going to end the sentence with a period. They are losing the game. They is a personal pronoun in the subjective case. Are losing the game is the verb phrase in the predicate of the sentence. Noun. Are is an auxiliary verb, also known as a helping verb. And it is a primary auxiliary verb because it is helping create the tense. Now, losing. Losing is a verb, dynamic verb, extensive verb, and a transitive verb. The game is the noun phrase and the direct object. The is a determiner, definite article. Game is a noun, a concrete noun, a countable noun, a singular noun, and a common noun. This is a declarative sentence, so we're going to end the sentence with a period. You are carrying the balls. You is a personal pronoun in subjective case. Are carrying the balls is the verb phrase and the predicate of the sentence. Now, are is an auxiliary verb, also known as a helping verb, and a primary auxiliary verb. Carrying is a verb, dynamic verb, extensive verb, transitive verb, and present participle. Carrying is considered the main verb. The balls. The balls is a noun phrase and a direct object. The is a determiner and definite article. Balls is a noun, concrete noun, countable noun, plural noun, and a common noun. It's a declarative sentence, so we're going to add a period at the end of the sentence. We are reading Shrek. We is a personal pronoun in the subjective case. Are reading Shrek, verb phrase, predicate of the sentence. Are is a helping verb, primary auxiliary verb. Reading is a verb, dynamic verb, extensive verb, transitive verb. This is also present participle. Now, Shrek is the direct object, noun, concrete noun, countable noun, singular noun, and a proper noun. The sentence is a declarative sentence, so it's going to end with a period. She's calling you. She's a personal pronoun in subjective case. Is calling you is the verb phrase and the predicate of the sentence. Is a helping verb, a primary auxiliary. Calling is a verb, dynamic verb, extensive verb, transitive verb, present participle. You is the direct object, personal pronoun in objective case. Just a quick reminder of all the objective case. Now, this is a declarative sentence, so it's going to end with a period. It's that time to take some notes and do some practice. Pause the video to write down the notes. Write 5 sentences in present progressive tense. Draw boxes around each type of phrase and use a different color for each type of phrase. Classify the words in the sentences. I give you an example. The elegant unicorns are trotting. And then I classify the words. You are always welcome to go back to any previous lesson if you need a review. You should always have this information in your notes, but if you need to go back to the video, go ahead. In lesson 24, we're going to learn about to be and to have in present progressive tense. I'll see you there. Take care. Bye.